Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, and I am sorry that I have not uploaded in like a week. I wish I could say it was because I'd been sick or some like physical ailment was keeping me from uploading a video, but the truth is I was just too lazy to film, but I'm here now, and more importantly, I'm here with my April book haul. First up, we have The Messenger by Marcus Zusak, which I bought at my local bookstore mainly because I read The Book Thief years ago by Marcus Zusak, and it is phenomenal. I still think about it sometimes. It's one of my all-time favorite books. And I haven't heard that much about this. I'm not expecting it to be as good as The Book Thief, but Marcus Zusak is an amazing writer, and I'm really interested to see what he does with this story. Next up, I bought Frontlines by Michael Grant, which is my first read by him. I know that he has the Gone series, which I was kind of interested in, but this book just sounds much more up my alley. It's set in World War II, where women have been enlisted to fight alongside men on the front lines, and it's about these fighting women and their, I don't want to say quest, but their journey battling Hitler's forces and trying to win the war, I guess. And apparently it's the first book in a new series, but I haven't really heard that much about it, so I'm really intrigued by this one. This next one is another book that I picked up from my local Dimmicks, and it's A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I'm not saying that right, but I've heard phenomenal things about this book. It's about 4 classmates who move to New York, and it's about the ways that their friendships develop over the years that they know each other. I'm pretty sure it spans like decades, and it's just about the way that they grow and the dynamic between them changes. And it's a large book, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be really immersive and really beautifully written, and I'm quite excited to read it, but because it is so big, I'm not sure when it'll be. So this month I ordered a bunch of books from Book Depository, and I didn't spend a whole lot on them, but they're all books that I've been really excited to read for a while, and being on a ban kind of meant that I couldn't. And the first one of those is The Martian by Andy Weir. I saw the movie of this and absolutely loved it, and I'm not sure if after seeing the movie the book will be as good. Like, it might be that the book is good, but then you see the movie and it's better, if that makes sense. But I'm still really excited to read this because it's such a phenomenal story, and there's so much humor and drama and action packed into this story, and it's only short, so I'm really excited to read this one. Next up, I got Strange Weather in Tokyo by Hiromi Kawakami, another Japanese author, and to me, this just sounds like such a rainy day read, so I'm kind of waiting for a day when the weather is really gross so that I can just sit in my chair and read this, because it's only short. But the story is basically about a young girl who is at a bar one night and encounters one of her old high school teachers, and over months or years, I'm not really sure, they kind of build this tentative romance, and I'm just really interested to see how it's done, and it sounds like it could just be a really sweet story about contemporary life. This next book is the first in a series that I have been really excited to read since the last book came out earlier this year, or last year, I don't remember, but it's Cinder by Marissa Meyer, the first book in the Lunar Chronicles series, which are a bunch of like modern fairy tale retellings, and I'm excited for this series because I don't know a whole lot about the plot apart from the fact that it's fairy tale retellings, and I know that people love this series, so hopefully I get to this sometime in the next month. To keep the first book in a new series for me theme going, I also bought Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, which is the first book in the Falling Kingdoms series. I'm not sure, I think there's 4 books in it at the moment, and there's going to be 6 or 7 or something. But this series is really, really intriguing. It's described as like a combination of Game of Thrones and Harry Potter, and some of my favorite booktubers absolutely rave about this series, so I'm just so excited to start it, and again, hoping I get to this in the next month. This next one is actually the book I'm currently reading and loving, and it's The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. And this book is about the crew of a spaceship called the Wayfarer, and they're just this random combination of species and personalities, and so far this book has been really funny because it's just all about the ways they interact and their jobs on this spaceship, and I'm enjoying this so much that I'm thinking I will do a full spoiler-free review of it when I'm finished, so stay tuned for that. Also, as part of my Book Depository order, I got Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, and this story is quite short, but it was recommended to me by one of my sister's friends, and it's about this troupe of actors and singers in this dystopian society where the world has crumbled and they're kind of traveling between settlements trying to keep art and all this stuff alive in the new world, and it just sounds really entertaining, and I'm hoping I get to this in the next month, which I'm saying about like all these books, but I'm just really excited to read them all. This next book is one that I'm potentially the most excited to read out of all the books I gained this month, and it's We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson, and this book is just, it just sounds so good. I don't know what to say about it. It's about this boy named Henry, and there's aliens that abduct him and give him this chance to save the world from destruction by pressing this big red button, and it's all about like soul searching and deciding if humans are worth saving, because all the humans Henry knows are kind of just horrible. And I'm so excited to read this. I've heard some phenomenal reviews of it, and I'm trying not to hype it up too much, but that's not really working. So my most recent video, which you should watch if you haven't already, was the coloured book tag, and my colour was blue. One of the questions was, what book of this colour are you most excited to buy? And I said Challenger Deep, and this month I bought Challenger Deep. It's by Neil Schusterman. I don't know that much about the plot of this book, except that it takes place on a ship heading into like the middle of the ocean to do some research, and I'm not going to try to explain it beyond that because I'll probably just stuff it up. But this book I've been hearing really great things about. When I bought it in the city, the people I was with said that they had adored it, so I'm just really excited to read this one, and I'm hoping it's good. But I think that since I'm going into it with really no expectations plot-wise, I'll kind of be excited and pleased by it. The next book that I gained this month is The Sidekicks by an Australian author, Will Kostakis. This story is basically about three people who they only ever had one common thing between them, and it was that they shared the same best friend named Isaac. And now that Isaac's gone, they kind of try to work out where they fit in to the world and who they are and all that stuff. And I've heard kind of mixed things about this book, but this is a signed copy, so I bought it, and I'm not sure when I'll get to read it, but I am kind of intrigued by it. We made it to the end of the book haul, guys. This is the final book that I picked up this month, and it's Battle Royale by Kushan Takami, which is the book that a lot of people accused The Hunger Games of ripping off. So it's about children fighting to the death, and I'm really excited to read this because I've heard great things, but also I don't know the context surrounding the fight to the death between children. So I don't know the whole situation, if this is a dystopian, what the government's like, why they're fighting, anything like that. And it is quite a big book, but I've heard that it's consistently action-packed and really entertaining, so I am very keen to read this one. Okay, so that is it for my book haul, guys, and I did buy a lot of books, but as I mentioned quite frequently in this video, they are all books that I am really excited to read. Some of them are ones that I wanted to buy before I even went on my ban 3 months ago, so the hype is so real. That's the end of this video, guys. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments what you thought of these books, if you've read any of them. I upload videos usually every Wednesday and Saturday, so be sure to like and subscribe. Tune in on those days for more bookish goodness. Toodaloo!